Find out how Lavar Johnson is planning on banging the lights out of Mark Godbeer and Valor BK2. I've got the story, so don't go away. Welcome back, Must Love MMA fans, to Must Love MMA, where every fighter has a story. Hey, look who's joining me today, Lavar Johnson. All right, Lavar, we got you in the house. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I am great. Let's get right to it. I love bare knuckle. I'm excited for your fight at Valor BK2. Let's talk a little bit first about if you're changing up your preparation at all for fighting Mark, sir.
No, it's pretty much stays the same as everything, except for I don't have to do no jiu-jitsu or wrestling. But other than that, everything stays the same: conditioning, hitting the mitts, same regimen.
In your mind, so much of the fight game is mental. How do you prepare mentally before a fight?
It's for me. I've been doing this since 2003, so it's pretty much second nature. It's the last fight was a little different because I haven't fought for so long. But as soon as I got in the cage and everything the pit, everything felt, normal. So I'm good. I'm comfortable. It's another day.
What are some of the holes in Mark's game that you can take advantage of?
I don't know too much about holes. I mean, he's a tough guy. He's been doing this for a while. There's a few things that we see that we can capitalize on. But I think that, like you said, being this bare knuckle, what's going to happen is going to happen. As soon as we get in the pit, all the game plans are going to go out the way, and it's going to be whoever lands first.
It's interesting you mentioned the pit, because in speaking to various Valor bare knuckle fighters today, one of the things that has come up is the limitations and advantages of fighting in the pit, which viewers is really an unrestricted cage. It looks, kind of like a gymnastic mat. Can you talk a little bit about how that is for you a different or a better advantage, or maybe not at all?
I love it because it forces you to fight. And for me, I need somebody to stand right in front of me and swing away. I don't want to be chasing anybody or anything like that. And being in the pit, if you step on the mat outside of that red little circle, then you're out of bounds and you're going to get deducted a point or something like that. So it forces you to stay in there and give the crowds what they want. And that's what it is. Just swing away.
And it's so exciting, fans. By the way, we will be at Valor Bare Knuckle 2, January 11th, 2020, where you can see Lavar Johnson versus Mark Godbeer on Fight TV and pay-per-view. We'll be there with pre-fight interviews, post-fight interviews, and, of course, during the show. All right, getting back to the interview, I wanted to ask you, if the stats are right, it says that you have a 5-inch reach over Mark. How does this factor into the game plan for you?
If it was like boxing, then yeah, I would say I could just stick and move and this and that. But I'm not going to box him, and I'm going to fight him. We're going to fight. This is not. It's not. You keep saying it's like more strategic and this and that. I don't see it that way.
Really?
I see it's more natural, and I think we're just going to go after it and get it. We're two big guys with knockout power, so taking my time to pick them apart and all this is time. I'm going in, I'm going straight for the kill. I know I can knock him out with one punch, and vice versa, he could do the same. So why bullshit with the game and just get after it?
It's interesting. I like that strategy. I want to say that for Valor Bare Knuckle fans, I feel like it's a real benefit because we get to see both of you fighting. You and Mark have great respect for each other. So let's talk a little bit about that as well.
Oh, yeah. I met Mark back in 2013 at we were both on the same card for Bellator when he fought Czech Congo.
Right.
Yeah, he's very respectful, real cool dude, and I've been talking to him ever since. He's a real good guy.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that fight. We have to take a look back at Valor BK1 because you had an outstanding performance, big shots against James McSweeney. So can you break that fight down for us?
Yeah, just stepped in the cage or the ring and just hit him one time, and that was it. That's all it took. I didn't even know he hit me 3 times. I didn't think I got hit at once, but then I went back and watched the film, and it looked like he hit me 3 times. But That's all it took was just one shot, like I said.
Right. What does it feel like, Lavar? Explain to our viewers, because bare knuckle is new. What does it feel like to fight without a glove, sir?
I feel a little faster. It's different. You know, you're not going to really sit there and try to block punches,
Right.
or at least I'm not. I see it's pointless to sit there and try to block maybe some head movement, but I'd rather go in like Mike Tyson style and land that big shot and get it over with. I love it.
I do too. Truth is, fans, if I could fight bare knuckle, I would, but I think I'm a little out of the mix there. Too scared to get my face bashed up, but I can dream. So, Lavar, you are a combat sports veteran, and so it may not seem like a big deal for you going into a fight in the pit. But how do you prepare for that mentally going in that fight day? What thoughts are going through your mind as you enter the pit?
I already have it set that I'm going to go to war. So walking to the pit is probably the hardest part of the fight. You know, once you get that out the way and you're in there and you're letting your hands go, everything just falls into place. But the hardest part is just being focused and ready to go. When
you hit someone with no gloves, we talked a little bit about what it feels like without a glove, but what does it feel like when you have a TKO? Because I want fans to really understand that, you know, gloves off is different. It's good, and I love it. But I want them to understand a little bit more about the power and the punch behind it. If we could try to help them understand, because bare knuckle's new, we got to promote it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I only had one fight in the pit, and I only got that punch one time. So, I mean, it feels solid. The punches are solid. They're gonna feel every bit of it. You know, if you get a solid punch. So, I mean, it's a little rough on the hands, but that's the chance to take. You know.
Lavar, do you feel like you have found a home at bare knuckle? It seems this particular combat sports discipline definitely suits you.
Yes, I do. I think bare knuckle is the sport for me. This is my strength. You know, all my fights, whether it's been MMA or whatnot.
You've been a puncher.
Yeah, we standing up on my feet. If they're not trying to take me down, I'm gonna have the advantage. I'm gonna bang your lights out. So I feel this is great for me. I wish I would have had it back like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I really enjoy it too. For me, it's because I feel like it's so pure and raw and emotional. So I just really adore the sport. And shout out to all bare knuckle fighters everywhere, even out of England and some of the old guys in Ireland, because they really started the sport. And it's really, really interesting to me. So, Lavar, who is your biggest inspiration?
My biggest inspiration is just, I guess, my family, you know, taking care of my kids, my girl. I don't want to let anybody down, you know. So, to get out here and do right and to come out of prison and to get back on my feet right away and to have a second chance at life, I don't want to fail, you know. And Ken and Valor has given me that chance, and I'm going to capitalize on it.
Good for you. And shout out to Ken for looking past anybody's history, because he's given a chance to many fighters, and I think that's important. And as a matter of fact, Ken, well, you came up the sort of the hard way too. So shout out to you and the entire Valor team for second chances. Talk to me a little bit before we go today about the rules of bare knuckle so that people can better understand the sport, sir.
Well, the rules are a little bit different with Valor. You know, there's no dirty boxing. You can't grab them behind the head and hit them. There's no clinching. The wrapping of the hands, there is no wrapping of the hands. There's a little bit of tape around the wrist, and that's it. And the 3 5-minute rounds or 5 3-minute rounds, you know, that's basically it. You can't step outside of that circle.
Right.
You have to sit there and you have to fight.
Yeah, and that is, again, what I love about it so much, because it's just pure to me. It feels like to me, maybe before the UFC got started, it feels just very raw and emotional. So I'm so excited to see you guys at Valor Bare Knuckle 2 in Kissimmee, Florida. Lavar, what has combat sports taught you?
It's taught me a lot, you know, discipline, hard work, dedication, you know, sacrifice. It's a lifestyle more than just a sport, you know. So it's plenty of life lessons you learn.
Before we go to the Lavar, is there anything else you'd like to add, sir?
I just want to thank everybody for supporting me. Thank you guys for having me on the show.
Thank you.
I'm blessed to be where I'm at. I can't wait for Valor BK2, this championship fight in Florida, Kissimmee, Florida. Me and Mark Godbeer are going to put on a show, and I'm bringing that belt back home to the United States.
All right, we definitely look forward to that. Valor BK2 is January 11th, 2020, and it is going down at Kissimmee, Florida. It'll be live on Fight TV and also on pay-per-view. We will be there before, during, and after the show, bringing you all the bare knuckle news reports. Lavar Johnson, I wish you good luck at your fight, and I look forward to seeing you at Valor BK2, sir.
Right on. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.